Hello everybody, it's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. I'm coming to you from my mobile studio in Santa Monica, California on this bright and sunny Tuesday morning, and we've got Bachelorette Rachel Recchia responding to Tino Franco, and boy, it's not pretty. Now, look, I'll be quite honest. I really like Rachel. I do. I don't have any sort of animosity towards her. I just think the way the internet and the way the show handled her breakup with Tino, they made it seem like he's the biggest villain in the world. So in my interview with Tino, which we released this past Saturday, it's a #1 video on the Dave Neal Show. On my interview and his first interview off contract, I wanted to press him on the timeline. Why does he believe he might not have been cheating? Was it cheating? What were the boundaries like? She gave you the ring back. Were you still together? And these are just honest questions I don't think anybody's really ever asked Tino before. Well, Rachel responds, and she's not exactly happy, but as happens, a lot of times people listen emotionally. I don't blame her. And they'll sort of paint the facts a different color, if you will. They'll listen to it and fill in the gaps. This happens all the time online. Whenever someone responds to me, if I say something complex and they go, so basically you're saying ... I go, nope, you've already conflated what I'm saying and it's wrong. And one of the reasons why my channel is successful is because we call that bullshit out. So I'm going to listen to what Rachel has to say and we're going to just respond with the facts as we know it. But I think for the most part, she understands that Tino wasn't meaning any harm in his interview. My biggest gripe I have with Rachel's conversation with Nick Viall here is that he doesn't credit my channel. At the end of this video, after we're done listening, I'm going to give you my full thoughts and opinions on Nick Viall not crediting independent content creators. I think most people will side with me and some people won't, and then we can have that discussion. Let's have a listen to what Rachel has to say.
Past weekend, what did he like? Was this in response to something? Are you aware of this, Rachel?
What I'm aware of is that it's because his contract is now up.
So he was doing an interview.
He was doing an interview, yeah.
And he said what?
He was just talking about the new season of The Bachelor, and obviously, you know, he was asked about you're going to be on the beach. He was like, yeah, that's fine, but I'm going to be tuning in for my boys or something. And then talked about how he'd had a missed call from you and doesn't feel like there's anything that he needs to say.
You reached out.
So the way that the producer sort of like says what Tino says, okay, Nick, if I can offer you any advice from a small, no-name independent content creator here, do the extra research. You've already got all of these producers on salary. Hit the freaking play button and play everything that Tino actually said, which we will do in a second here, because the tone is completely off. So, and maybe this is what he wants to do. But they're saying, well, basically Tino said this, and then Rachel's going to respond going, well, if he said that, then F him. And it's like, this isn't the conversation at all. This is such a misuse of sort of commentary because you're not giving the source, first of all, their credit, but you're also not correctly establishing the tone of the conversation.
I will say I did not reach out.
Oh,
I didn't. But like I said before, my big thing is I really do love being able to have that friendship with my exes. I have one with Clayton, with Zach, with Avon, with everyone except him. That is something I really would love to have in the future, at least be civil. As far as I know, I did not reach out to him. And I do think it's interesting that a call is the only thing I guess you can't provide like a receipt for. Because I tried to scroll back. I was like, oh, did I?
Maybe you pocket called him?
Did I call him? No,
Yeah.
I don't even know. Because I mean,
Which, by the way, and no offense, it's not a dumb move, but that's why Nick calls people, because you don't provide receipts for that. That's why Nick DM'd me, call me, so we could have a conversation, and I can't screen grab it or provide any proof, but it doesn't mean it didn't exist. Whether or not Tino called Rachel is really not, it's really irrelevant to the rest of this conversation.
maybe I did call him.
Right.
I don't know. I went back and I was like, oh, you can't even go back that far in your calls. So I was like, I really don't think I called him.
But to your knowledge, you didn't. Yeah.
To my knowledge, I didn't. I would love to have a conversation with him if he's ever open to it. I'm not willing to die on that hill if he thinks I called him.
I mean, Bachelor World.
Come on the Dave Neal Show. We'll get you in the back seat. You can sit you can sit shotgun, and we'll get Tino in the back seat.
Is so small, and it's like there's just no need to have any bad blood. It's just not worth it.
And then what recently?
He said, she's perfect for somebody. It's just not me. I really think she will be an excellent partner to someone else.
But that was in response to him earlier saying something like, if she thinks she can find love on the beach, good luck, or something like that.
Yeah.
So Nick says, if she thinks she can find love on the beach, good luck. Now, of course, that's not what was said.
I was like, what was the point of this outside of trying to like make me go jump off a bridge or be a victim? I don't know, but I was just like, what, did you want me to jump up and fight him? Like, were you trying to get a knee-jerk reaction out of me? Because I was just like, what? Like,
it actually made
go date. I don't care. Like somebody said or I think it's out that she went on Paradise. Great. Find love.
So
be happy.
What season are you going?
Great. Find love. Be happy. I don't know. Is that the voice of a guy who's really scorned? Or he's like, I don't give two flying rats' asses what you do. And by the way, just so you guys know, maybe it's good I'm doing this in my car today. Here I am, folks. No producers. I don't have a team of 5. You can just hit the play button. This is dynamic content, folks. All right, let's go back to what he actually said.
Ooh. He
good
said
for
that
her. She
in
said
multiple
good
ways.
for her.
Good for her.
Yes.
Not good luck.
Good,
Yes.
Yeah, good for her.
It's like the
That's
Gwyneth
like ominous.
Paltrow, I wish you well.
Yeah.
But there's, I mean, like, is it possible that he was more speaking about Bachelor World? Like, if she thinks she can, do you think do you see that as a dig?
So the two, I guess, quotes that really did hurt me, I'll be completely honest, and I will say this so on the record, I don't have control over how my time on The Bachelorette ended.
Okay, so she says the 2 quotes and then she doesn't give actual quotes.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. And to hear him say, if she thinks that she can find love, good luck, all while talking about how easy it's been for him to be dating again and move.
Tino never talked about how easy dating's been for him. It's been hell from him, you could imagine. He was essentially canceled from the show.
Vaughn, and I think another thing he said was, she needs a couple years. And then when she gets out of the spotlight.
She needs a couple years. She's perfect for somebody, it's just not me. I really think she'll be an excellent partner to somebody else, Franco noted on Saturday, betting Recchia would likely meet her ideal partner in a couple years when she's a little bit further removed from the public eye. Can we please get the dang quotes? Sorry, someone's walking their dog. This is banana land, guys. This is ridiculous.
She'll be able to find someone.
But
I can find the exact quote, but that's what he said.
Well, then find the exact quote, because I just did, and you conflated it. He didn't basically say anything. He said you'd be an excellent partner to somebody else. Rachel, he has given you so much grace in this conversation I had with him. He championed you so much, all while trying to tell his truth, which is that he's not a terrible guy and he owns up to his mistakes. I pressed him so many times. So many times I gave him the chance to bash her, and he didn't. And I did that on purpose. I said, I want to know how you really feel. And now we know that publicly, at least, he's being as graceful as possible.
In the most recent
interview, was giving you dating
That's
advice?
so condescending.
No, he wasn't giving dating advice, and no, it's not condescending. Good God.
I just don't understand why, why am I not allowed to move on, and why am I not allowed to find love?
Why do I need a couple years?
Yeah.
Tino, why are you giving Rachel relationship advice? I know you're going to listen to this.
How many people are on camera? 5 people on camera. There's a producer off camera. We have half of a freaking football team on camera here. We've got this could be a pro basketball team and a backup right here. And we still don't get the actual sound bites.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
and it's just hard because, I mean, I will say I did listen to his interview with Nick, and I mean, I was, on my couch, full glass of wine, like ready for this exclusive, like sit down, and I was so impressed. I think with the way you handled the interview, he showed so much empathy, and he was really able to look at the situation, like coming out of it. There had been time that passed.
I just want to say good for you for admitting that you listened to it. Most people would lie about that.
Yeah.
I saw the Cliff Notes. I don't know. I didn't watch.
Yeah, I just heard. Someone sent me a message. I watched it.
Full glass of wine.
Was there any
up to the brim?
Was there
Notepad. Taking my notes.
I felt like Tino
By the way, Rachel looks gorgeous here. She looks gorgeous. I'm so excited to see her on Bachelor in Paradise. I'm not mad at Rachel whatsoever. I think they are not producing this show to the quality that would benefit Rachel. The best way to do this is to have the 10 different sound bites ready to go. And so, you know, he can have his notes as he shuffles them in his paper. All right, go to sound bite 4. And then they can actually play what he said. But they don't want to do that. Is it because they're lazy? I don't understand. How many laptops do you see out there? You know what I mean? Like, I'm kicking your ass right now from the front seat of a car.
Really tried to find that balance between sharing his truth and trying to take responsibility, also while complimenting you. But nevertheless, you're here. We got to talk to Tino. Was there anything that you felt like you didn't totally agree with or you found completely inaccurate?
Well, I think the way he did speak about what happened, I really appreciated that he gave our relationship, I think, the respect it deserves.
Good.
I think a lot of people
if I was a marriage counselor, I'd be like, okay, we're agreeing on something. This is good.
kind of forget in the midst of everything that there was a point where we, you know, were in a really rough place. But I was able to really work on myself and get myself to where he needed me to be for us to be successful. And we did start really progressing forward. And so when he did finally tell me about all this, it was just, obviously, I was angry, I was overwhelmed, and I think the way he described it, it was pretty accurate. But yeah, I guess now...
All right, so Rachel says he described it accurately, which is good. I mean, that's good that they were able to understand. Like, look, I pressed Tino on this. I was like, was Rachel really difficult dealing with the spotlight? And he, in his own words, said that he had got an anxious attachment style. So he was the one who felt insecure and all these different things. He owned up to all those things. He's been going to therapy. I mean, honestly, the video, the Driving with Dave episode with Tino is our highest viewed video yet. It's the most liked video, like it's the highest like percentage. So if anybody wants to watch the Driving with Dave episode with Tino from a critical eye, please do, and leave timestamps where you think he was bashing Rachel.
Hearing the way he speaks about it and the way he's kind of completely done a 180 on the way he thinks things went down, it's just hard to hear because I feel like it completely redacts everything he said here.
It almost seems like to you, correct me if I'm wrong, that the interview I had with Tino seemed, from your point of view, to be fair, both sides. And as time has gone on, it sounds like, from your point of view, that Tino's painting himself as more of the victim rather than a equal party in a relationship that failed.
I don't, and by the way, Nick does a good job here of summarizing all that Rachel's saying. I'm able to give Nick credit and to say where I think he's doing well. I think that's the point of my channel. It's just pushback when you get this narrative. Like I always say, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You know, you listen to this and you think, man, Tino must have gone on some tirade. Not the case.
I wouldn't say as much that he's like a victim. I think he is just pushing, I think, the blame a little bit more onto me than he did in the past, where I'm not saying that I'm innocent by any means. Like, we were having problems, and some of it was because of me and my issues, but it...
All right, so Rachel's willing to admit that she was part of a problem. I think this is healthy in any relationship. If you have 100% blame on one side versus 0% on the other, that's not healthy. Most cases, it's 70-30, 55-45, 99% to 1. You always have to admit where you could have been the problem. Now, nothing Rachel did should have led to Tino quote-unquote cheating, but as he says, there was this gray area where they didn't necessarily know what they were, and you're going to hear Rachel talk about her own therapist suggesting that she go back to just being friends with Tino. If you're just friends with somebody, does that mean you're no longer exclusive? You know, it definitely leads to certain questions.
It feels like almost now it was like, well, because she acted this way, that's why I did it, and I don't really think it was that bad. And there is so much more than just the physical kiss. Like, there was this emotional relationship happening, and this person that it happened with was someone he was gonna date after the show. So it's just...
All right, we just lost it there for a second here. Oh boy, hold on folks. Okay, so here's what happened. My phone overheated, so I turned the air conditioning off in my car so I could make this video. And it's probably like 110 degrees right now. So my phone overheated, which was my hotspot. All right, so all of that talk, I guess, you know, karma bit me in the ass. All of that talk about me outproducing you from my car proves that maybe I should have done this in the shade, but I wanted good lighting for my eyes. Can you ever try, you know what I mean? Anyway, so as promised, look, maybe I'll make a part 2. So make sure to subscribe subscribe, and we'll do a part 2. But let's get this video up right now because it's going to be a little bit longer than normal. But here was my response to Nick. I think it's a very fair response. I'll read it for you. Nick, regarding the Tino interview, I'd really appreciate it if you credited the sources when you're discussing these things. This is an ongoing trend I've witnessed with how you discuss other independent content creators. You don't give them the credit when speaking about their content. Cheers. And of course that has 38 likes, and I'm sure it'll be growing. People responded, it's absolutely abhorrent. Dave, you work so hard. Hope Nick and his team see this comment. And they will, and I'll probably text it to him as well, just to be like, hey man, I went in hard on the fact that you don't credit content creators, and I think you should. And that's pretty much as far as I can go. Someone commented, Dave, you should definitely get that credit. The interview was awesome and Tino was a great interview. Someone else said, LMAO, Dave Neal. Really, dude? This is his channel. He can do what he wants. You seem to swear by that rule whenever anyone tries to correct you. No, yes, Nick can continue doing what he wants, but I can call him out and say, I've noticed you did this with She's All Batch. So my response was, of course he can do what he wants. I'm just pointing out what has been very obvious to independent content creators. He has proven to not respect us enough to use our names, even though he privately has praised my channel and integrity. I have complimented how he runs his business numerous times. It is fair in this game to at least say the name of the content you're referencing. That is all. I think that's fair. Let me know what you guys think. Rachel's not exactly happy, but as witnessed by me hitting the play button, you can see that Tino's tone was nothing like playing the victim, was nothing like pushing all the blame onto her. He's just sharing his truth, and we love to see it. I'll have more content for you coming up. I'm going to let my cell phone cool down, and we'll get to a part 2 of this. Thanks so much.